Are you trying to figure out social media for your nonprofit? Make sure you watch this video because I have 5 tips for you. Let's get into it. Hey there, this is Tiffany with Boss on a Budget. I teach people how to start their nonprofits and I teach people how to raise money from the ground up. If you need help raising money, I have a small private membership where I teach people how to fundraise. There's accountability and there's just encouragement there in that community. So if you're interested in joining, comment join below and I will send you the link. This video is specifically for small and new nonprofits because that's what my channel is all about. And I'm giving you a social media one-on-one because so many of you guys recognize that you need to be on social media, but that's the extent to what you know. I encounter a lot of followers who cannot stand social media. They just lump everything together and they just say, I don't want to be on it, period. I don't even have it for myself. So why do I have to go through the motions for having it for my nonprofit? So I'm going to share 5 steps or 5 things you need to go through to get prepared to be on social media. This video isn't a video to convince you that you need to be on social media because yes you do. Like, it's free. It's a free marketing channel. It helps build your visibility. You absolutely need to be at least on one channel, but I'm going to share 5 things to help you process to figure out how to make sense of social media for your nonprofit. So the first thing you need to do before you get on social media is to decide why you need it and who you're trying to reach. Because social media is a marketing medium. Basically, it's one way to get the word out about your organization, for people to learn more about you, for people to discover your brand, for people to build relationships with your organization. So it's a tool to do that, but you have to be clear for yourself, what is it for? Some people use social media just as a way to attract and recruit participants and clients, right? That's their main goal. That's why they want to be on social media. Other people just want to have a place where if people want to learn more about the organization, then they have some kind of digital footprint where people can learn more. Some people want to use it to fundraise. Some people want to use it as a launch pad for their campaigns and for just raising money generally. And you may be using it for all 3, but the point is you need to know for yourself why you're using it, what your objective is behind using it, and who you're trying to reach. So get a good sense of your audience. Who is the audience you're trying to reach, right? Because it has implications for the other steps I'm going to talk about in this video. So if you're trying to reach donors, well, there's a certain population of donors who may use certain platforms over others, or who are more comfortable using certain platforms over others, right? So you got to think about who you're trying to reach. If you're trying to reach young people, then obviously there are certain social media platforms that are kind of obsolete for young people in 2024, and there are ones that they're all on, right? So younger people tend to be on TikTok. And not on Facebook, and that may shift and that may change. Something else is going to come up. So you just need to know for yourself first, okay, why am I using this? Why do I need it? And then who am I trying to reach? Who are the people that I'm trying to get an audience with when I use social media? And start there. And for all those people who are like, I honestly don't know, Tiffany, what I need it for. I just was told that I need it. Then if nothing else, use it as a way for people to build relationships with your brand and build relationships with your organization. It is the opportunity for you to introduce people to who you are and what you're about. It's an opportunity for people to build a connection with you as an individual, as a founder, if you share your story on there, and build a connection with your organization and its mission. And it can be very powerful and a good tool to use in that way. So if you don't know why you want to use it, then at least start there. The second step is you need to choose a platform. So social media is a very generic term, and there are many different platforms. There's Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Instagram, Threads, X, formerly Twitter. There's so many different types, and you have to decide for yourself which platform you want to use to further your goals and to further the objectives that we talked about in step 1. Because part of the pressure of people who feel nervous about being on social media is the feeling that they have to be on all of it, or they have to know all of it. And I'm here to tell you, you don't. Get good at 1 or 2. right? And if you're good at one or two, you're golden, because there are some people just in the business world in general who make the bulk of their money or get the bulk of their customers from being on one platform. Now, they may be on others, but they're really good at one particular platform and get the bulk of their customers from that place. So that is normal. So you shouldn't feel like you have to be good at running all these different social media platforms, because you don't. But what you need to do is decide, well, which ones do you want to go deep on? And you got to understand what they're about and like why you should focus on them and the type of content that you will be producing on them. So Facebook is a really popular one for nonprofits. Facebook is just like kind of the standard at this point in 2024, where you can talk about your organization, you can share updates, you can engage with people, you can directly message people, and you can use their fundraising tools to run fundraising campaigns directly on the platform, right? And people can run their own fundraising campaigns for your organization, and there's some advantage to doing that. And typically older people, like 40 and up, that's their thing. They love being on Facebook. They love sharing. And it's kind of like a news platform. A lot of people share news and get their information from Facebook too. So knowing that about Facebook, think about how you want to use that to your advantage. And I always tell people, pick 1 to 2, especially when you're starting, and one of those really should be Facebook because of the fundraising tools that are available. Instagram is owned by Meta, which also owns Facebook, and it's mostly you sharing photos, videos, things like that. You're doing visual storytelling on that platform, but it also gives you the opportunity to DM people and build relationships with people, and also to encourage them to click links and learn more about your organization. And they also have fundraising tools that connect to Facebook as well. So Instagram may be an option. LinkedIn is more of a professional platform where you want to find out the people maybe who work at foundations or work at corporations that you want to build relationships with. You can connect with them there, hear what they're talking about, hear about the latest trends in their organizations, and build connections there. You can also message people on LinkedIn, which is an advantage of social media. We can provide direct contact, which people are more likely to see than their email, because if people are on a platform, they tend to be on it. Right? They tend to dwell there if that's their place where they like to be. So they tend to see those messages more because they naturally go to those places. Threads, or a platform like X, formerly Twitter, is for very quick succession of messages where you're sharing thoughts in text. And it's really to encourage conversation and connections through words and stories as well. So if you want to connect in that way, you can also message people on X, and then Threads is connected to Instagram and Facebook, and you can message them that way. That's one platform you want to consider. TikTok is heavily about quick visual storytelling. So TikTok grew in fame because you can share these really quick videos, but also people have used the platform now to just share experiences, to teach people, to help people learn about new things. And it's another way you can connect with folks and share information and gain followers and people who may be interested in your cause. So if you're really good at being on camera, you should consider TikTok. YouTube is another platform, and it happens to be my favorite platform. But if you are a visual storyteller, and YouTube, it just depends. YouTube has a lot of things where people are providing entertainment or commentary or reviews or things like that. And it doesn't have to be short. You could do what's called long form videos. You can make an hour-long video. You can make a 30-minute video, which wouldn't be the same on TikTok. You can use YouTube to share information about what you're doing or provide commentary on something happening with the population you serve. You can use YouTube in that way. But YouTube also has shorts, which is short form videos that are no longer than a minute, where you can share short stories and do visual storytelling similar to TikTok. So you can pick whatever platform you choose to, but you have to know, okay, what am I going to use it for? Which is why I talked about that in step 1. And knowing your audience also helps you pick. So if you serve young people and you're trying to use your social media to attract young people, then you need to be on TikTok, right? Or you need to at least explore it and consider it as an option. if you want to reach them, right? If you want to reach donors and you know that the donors you're reaching tend to be older, then you could probably get some traction on Facebook, right? So you just need to consider what options are available to you and what makes the most sense for what you're trying to do. For step 3, think about the type of content that you want to share, which is very similar to step 2. So you need to think about whether you're going to share information just through text, through words, whether you want to focus on photos, or whether you're going to focus on video. And then there are different variations within those 3 categories as well. So if you know that a lot of what you want to do is share opinions or share like quick commentary or quick quotes or quick reflections, then Threads or X might be the platform for you. But you have to decide, like, what's the content we have the capacity to do, right? What are we able to consistently do? Because when you do social media, in order for them to push your information out to people, you have to be on there consistently. And consistency is different from organization to organization, what that means. But you have to at least regularly, at some kind of pace, post something. So you have to think about, what do you have the capacity to actually do? And if text is all you can do, then obviously Instagram is out. Obviously, TikTok and YouTube are out, and that can kind of help narrow down what you want to do. Maybe you want to use photos because you want to use a lot of infographics, or you have a lot of statistics to share, or you have just a lot of content in terms of doing your work and sharing the photos and sharing experiences, and you want to share that on your platforms. Well, Instagram is something you should consider. What if you really want to go deep on video, but not just, heavily produced video where you just get on your phone and you're talking about the work that you do, or you're interviewing folks about the work that you do? Well, then you obviously need to be on either YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, right? So I hope I'm giving examples to help get your wheels turning, but you also need to be thinking about, okay, what type of content can I regularly do? And if you're picking a certain platform, you also need to think about what kind of content that platform favors, because even on something like Instagram, there's different types of content you can share. There are photos, there are what is called reels, which is really just video, and then there are stories. And stories are what you can put kind of on your profile. You can share for only 24 hours. And it's content that people can see if they go to your profile and kind of pick. There's a different type of person who will go to your profile and actually click your stories. That's somebody who's probably already following you, probably already interested, and knows a little bit about your work. So in those stories, you can share information and get people to click links and follow more information about you off the platform. So maybe you want to go heavily in on stories and sharing things to your stories, right? It all depends. The other thing you want to think about is that sometimes the platforms push certain types of content. So Instagram will push reels. They will encourage you to push reels because they're in competition with TikTok and YouTube. So if you do reels for your page, then you're going to get more followers because they're going to push that content out more. So you have to really decide, well, what type of content are we going to put out, and how does it align with what we need to share or what we need to do, and how does it align with the audiences that we're trying to reach? Number 4 is timing. And I kind of covered this in the last step, but I want to make sure that you focus on this. You got to figure out what your posting frequency is going to be. One mistake, or one thing that really holds people back when it comes to social media, is the feeling like they have to be on there all the time and they have to say something all the time. And then people get so in their head about it that they don't post or say anything. And then they look up and it's been 6 months since they put anything on their page. And I hear this story over and over again. But one thing you got to realize is, if you are going to decide to be on social media, then you need to be on it. Meaning you need to be using it, you need to be posting, and you need to be engaging with people. So social media is so much more than posting. It's also about the engagement piece, because there's still that social part. And every platform, their goal is to get you to socialize. Their goal is to get you to engage with people who may come to your page or people who follow you. Why? Because if they engage with you, that means they're staying on the platform longer, which means there's more opportunity for those platforms to make money because people are using it, people are looking at ads, all the things. They have more opportunities to sell to those people and make money. So they reward you, the person who has the page, if you're able to keep people in the platform, either sharing, talking on it, all those good things. So you have to think about, what do we have time for in terms of posting and engaging? And let me just tell you, that's not an easy decision to make, because when you're doing all the things, and let's just talk about you as a founder, you're probably working a job, and then you're working this nonprofit, and you got to figure out how to do the work in your nonprofit, and then you got to figure out how to do all the stuff with your board, and you got to figure out fundraising and grant writing. And now you're telling me I got to be on this platform that I don't even want to be on, and I got to actually talk to people and DM them? Stop it. Right? So I get that this is a hard decision to make. I'm just trying to be honest and transparent about it, but it's a decision you have to make. You have to decide, okay, if I'm going to be on here, then what can I realistically do in terms of posting and engaging? Because if you want to grow, and if you want more people to find your page, then engagement is a necessity. It's a non-negotiable. So decide for yourself, is it going to be once a week? Is it going to be twice a week? Is it going to be once a day? Whatever it is. And each platform will favor a certain kind of posting frequency. You'll find that there are certain platforms, they like you to post every day. There are certain platforms, it doesn't matter if you post every day. You can post every couple of days, but that has to be part of the decision that you're making when you decide to step into the social media world. So decide, again, how much you're going to post and how much you can do realistically in a consistent manner, and then how much can you engage alongside with that posting. And then finally, step 5, you got to decide who's going to do it. So the one thing I learned about social media is that, at least for me, I cannot leave it up to chance. I can't say, oh, when I feel like posting something, I'm just going to post it. Or I can't say, generally I think I'm going to post twice a week. So that should be easy. I should be randomly thinking about social media and randomly come across something that I want to share, or randomly snap a picture, and I can just do it. I can do that twice a week randomly. It's not random. So especially in this day and age, you'll find that people who are pros at social media, or people who are always on social media, it's not natural. They are intentional. They plan when they're going to post. They write out what their plan is. Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm going to take a picture of this. I'm going to post this. It is not, in most circumstances, random. So you cannot treat this as something random. You can't treat this and say, oh, when I feel like it, I'll post. I'll remember to post that. You actually have to set a plan and a schedule for, first of all, sourcing your content, right? So like, where are you going to get the content from? What are you going to plan to talk about? All those things. And then when you're going to do it. And thankfully, most of the platforms now have a process where you can pre-schedule. So you don't have to be in the moment when it's time to post, even though you need to still be present to engage. But you need to decide who's going to do that. Are you the founder? If you're watching this and you're the founder, are you going to do that? Is somebody else going to do that? If a board member says they're going to take on that responsibility, then you need to be clear with them about when they're going to post, how often, and how you're going to check in on them to make sure it's happening. What is the accountability around making sure that happens? And you also need to have a regular repository, or like a library or reference of content you want to share. And you need to be thinking about, okay, what's the rhythm of things that I'm going to share on this platform? So there should be some kind of source of information that whoever's posting, they know what to post, because they know a campaign is coming up, or they know they need to talk about the importance of the mission, or they need to share a good story. Whatever it is, they need to know what that is so that it is intentional and that it's done, and it's done consistently. So think about who is the person responsible for posting, and then when that has been designated, have a process for them to source information or to pull information from somewhere so that they can post and make sure that they post consistently. So I just wanted to cover those 5 steps. There are obviously other things you need to be mindful of. I didn't talk about like the type of things you need to share on social media or what gets more engagement. That's for another video. I just wanted to do like a one-on-one before you kind of step in to the social media game to figure out what you need to know, or at least the basics of what you want to understand. If you have more questions about social media, or if you want me to cover other things regarding social media and your nonprofit, especially if you're new and you're small, then drop that in the comments below. And I do check the comments and I do listen to my audience to figure out what kind of videos that I want to create. If you need help with your nonprofit, you can visit me at bossonabudget.com, and I have resources and information there for you to help you along your journey. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.